Coach, you look at this game, and hard-fought game, a physical game. It was a game that was close. It was a game that could have gone either way based on several plays throughout the course of the contest. It was a game where your team looked like they were ready to play early. There had been concern about that early in the week, but it was one of those games, a bounce here, a bounce there, but a good, hard, solid football game.
There's no question that the emotion was there on both sides of the ball. A lot of hard hitting, a lot of great football being played out there, and we had opportunities, I thought, to make some plays that we failed to make. And what we needed to do is make some of those plays against Oregon State's attacking defense to turn the tide and get some big play scoring opportunities, and things that we've been able to do most of the year and throw and catch, we didn't do a very good job of in this game, and Oregon State deserves most of the credit for that. They did an excellent job of coming after us and putting the heat on us and covering our receivers. The problem in this game is much like the rest of the season in that we turned the ball over more than we took it away. We're last in the league, and we're not even close to anybody else in that department. And it's hard to win football games when you're turning the ball over and you're not taking it away.
You know, going into the game, I think everybody felt that it would be a much higher scoring game than it ended up being. Both offenses during the course of the year had had a lot of success. Oregon State came in as the #2 rushing offense in the country, only 8 yards behind Nebraska. Your offense came in one of the top offenses in the country as far as passing is concerned, up around 400 yards of total offense per game, and yet neither of the offenses came anywhere near what they had done on a seasonal average.
I anticipated it would take at least 3 touchdowns to win the game, Todd, and our defense, I thought, did a spectacular job. 26-yard touchdown drive was their only offensive points, and what happened is that we just couldn't generate the offense that I would have anticipated we could, and Oregon State's defensive plan and execution deserves most of the credit for that. I thought that we would be able to move the ball. We did not, and therein ends the story.
Their defense does present some problems. A defense that you've seen in bits and pieces, similar defenses during the course of the year. What was it about that defense that only 5 yards rushing net, that counts in sacks, so that made it tough when you weren't able to get that balance?
We didn't run the ball well. We ran it pretty well, I thought, until Burwell left the game, and then with his injury to the shoulder, and then after that, our running game was virtually non-existent. And Oregon State, you know, brings a lot of pressure and does a lot of stunning and looping and hurts your blocking schemes. What you need to be able to do is hit a crease in the running game and pop a bigger run than we were able to do, and we couldn't find those creases, obviously, in this game.
When we come back, we will have the opening kickoff. It's the Civil War, the Ducks and the Beavers. Well, not too surprising with the offense being the strength of the team going in that when you won the toss, you decided to take the football this week instead of deferring like has been the norm for most teams in college football. So Oregon will get the football received to get the game started. Oregon State to boot it away, and you get a nice spark right off the bat with a good kickoff return.
We do. Sean Burwell makes a nice return. Gets us great field position at the 39-yard line.
Now you can see there's a little emotion in this game.
This sets us up pretty good and made the decision to take the ball look pretty good initially.
Your team has done a good job this year in the kickoff returns, right up near the top of the conference leaders. So a good field position, ball marked just shy of the 40-yard line. First down pass. See, Oregon State comes with some heat, a little slant pass, good for the first down to Corey Murphy.
Corey Murphy coming back to full strength after a couple of injuries this year. Try a little pitch to Derek Deadweiler, and he slips and falls. A little motion, a little trick play that didn't work.
So 2nd and 15 and a big play right here. O'Neal pass, and Herschel Curry intercepts and goes 45 yards for the touchdown. Oregon State, by the way, penalized 15 yards on the ensuing kickoff for celebration. The point after is good, and it's 7-0. Then, ooh, a low kick and recovered by Oregon State. So the Beavers now have their first offensive possession, and they lead 7-0.
Nothing like starting on a disastrous note. They try the counter play back. And a nice job there by Rockwell. Salila Malapai, Romeo Bandison, John Tomapiao.
Bandison had a terrific game, 15 tackles.
Come outside on the option to Paulson, and Dante Lewis comes up from free safety, makes the play after Chad Cota turns it in. You see good option responsibility. Ernest taking the quarterback. We've got people in the alley. Cota forcing the play inside. Dante in the alley, along with Asher and Rule coming from inside out.
Your team defended the option portion of Oregon State's offense very well. Here's Burwell bouncing into the outside and then cutting in, gain of 5. This is a 3rd down and 5 play.
Half roll to the right, throw back to the left, and get Deadweiler for the 1st down and an additional 15 yards for the late hit out of bounds. See good pass protection on this. O'Neal rolls to his right, looks back, and catches Derrick running a kind of a post corner route.
And then the late hit on Oregon State, tack on 15, so you've got the ball at the 42-yard line of Oregon State.
Good hole there for another 5 or 6 yard gain.
2nd and 4, little out pass. Willie Tate with the reception, so that sets up 3rd and 1. And Sean gets 4. At what point in the game was he injured?
I believe it was that play right there that you heard his shoulder on. Ricky Whittle comes in, and you can see we're actually gaining some yardage on the ground at this point, getting some movement.
So Whittle with a gain of 11, another 1st down. 1st down, Oregon State recorded a quarterback sack, a loss of 8, so now it's 2nd down and 18.
Wide screen to Corey Murphy, breaks 1 tackle, but is wrapped up after about a 5-yard gain.
So it's 3rd and 12.
Out of the shotgun this time. Good coverage downfield.
And then Deadweiler breaks open late, but unable to get him the ball, and so Tommy Thompson comes in to attempt a 37-yard field goal. Tommy said afterwards if the official had said this was no good, he wouldn't have disputed it, but it kind of hooked in there, and it's good. So it's 7-3, 65 yards in 11 plays.
Ernest Jones from the backside catching Muhammad on the option play.
3rd down and 6.
Back to pass. Malapai pressures him. And a nice job there by Romeo Bandison. As you mentioned, played an outstanding game.
So Oregon got the ball back, unable to move it. And when we come back, we will have the 2nd quarter highlights. Oregon State leading 7-3. As we head into the 2nd quarter, Oregon State leading 7-3 on the interception for a touchdown. Thompson's field goal cut it to 7-3, and so your defense is out on the field as we begin the quarter. Muhammad tried to get to outside, but Ernest Jones wouldn't let him.
Real nice job by Ernest playing off the block here, and then coming on and making the tackle for a 1-yard loss. Get some help there from Rich Rule.
So it'll be 2nd down. The Beavers then pick up the 1st down. This is another 1st down play. Again, trying to get outside. Brian Rockwell making the stop. 2nd down and 9. Nothing doing in the middle. You did a good job against the fullback in this game.
Well, that's where you have to start, because if they can pound the fullback up the middle on you. There's Reggie Jordan coming in, who's playing for Tomapiao, who's injured now, and they call him for intentional grounding there.
Key play right here, you're going to get the ball in good field position up around midfield, but bounce the ball, hits Brian Collins in the back, and questionable whether or not the recovery was made inbounds, but it is ruled so. So Oregon State gets it back, good field position, then they get a penalty, and so now they've got long yardage as well. This play is a 3rd and 11. And the pass is incomplete, so a good job by your defense there in what you call the sudden change.
It was, but we did lose valuable field position. We would have had the ball inside our own 50. Now Brian Brown does a great job getting 22 yards back on this return.
He was not even scheduled to play in this game.
2 days ago, he was not going to be able to play, but the swelling went down on his knee, and he worked very hard in rehab and treatment the last 2 days, and wanted to play very badly, obviously, in his last game.
That's Brian's longest punt return of the season as well. 22 yards, so you've got the ball out in decent field position, unable to move it though. Oregon State gets it back. This could have been a big play. Not only does Oregon State not give up a touchdown, but they actually recover the ball.
They recover it, and we don't. Now we come back with a little hitch pass to McLemore. He picks up the first down.
A gain of 10. O'Neal biding his time.
Willie Tate on an adjusted route. Supposed to be three-step quick. He's looking to the right. Nobody open. Good coverage down the field. Willie adjusts up off of a flat route, and Danny throws him the ball, and Willie makes a nice catch.
It's a gain of 20. We're now under 4 minutes to play in the first half. Oregon trailing 7-3. Deadweiler catches it, heads up field, gets 15.
Little quick hitch pass again. Derrick makes a nice move back to the inside, breaks the corner's tackle, but the linebacker coming from the inside makes the play.
After an incompletion on first down, it's 2nd and 10. Ricky Whittle fighting forward for 4 yards. It's 3rd down and 6. Big play here. And the incompletion. So on 4th down and 6 with 1:59 to play in the half, Thompson comes in, middle of the field, and it's ruled wide right. Tommy, after the game, said that he thought that one was in. He thought the first one might not have been in. And so Oregon is denied 7-3 as we head to the halftime locker room. We have a 4-point football game as we head to the 3rd quarter. Oregon State gets the football to start the 3rd period of play as Oregon booting it away. Thompson down to J.J. Young. Pretty good coverage right here as J.J. and Dan Mead get to know each other.
Danny's done a good job on coverage all year long for us.
He always seems to be down there making something happen. Try to bounce outside with Young. Nothing doing there. That's a loss of 1.
Great job by Malapai. Look at him reject the lineman, clear back into the backfield, be in there to force the play back, and then our linebackers step up and make the play.
2nd down and 11. Try running that option again. Ernest kind of kicks him out a little bit, and Jeremy Asher there to clean up. So it'll be 3rd down and 9. Reggie Jordan, a redshirt freshman, getting extensive activity in this game.
Played virtually the last 2.5 quarters of the game in place of John Tompiad. You can see he's a big physical guy. I mean, he's going to be a real good player. He's got great size and strength, and really came along this year. O'Neal dumps it to Shedrick, and Shedrick picks up a big first down.
It's a gain of 19 yards.
See O'Neal's looking for somebody open, and Shedrick just breaks out of the backfield. Little dump pass. Nobody covered him initially.
So Juan spinning forward. Next play we see is a 2nd down play from the 34 of Oregon State. Got wide receiver screen. And Corey Murphy picks up 19 yards and another first down.
Well executed here. You can see Eric Barnes mentioned he just got the key block to spring Corey Murphy out there on the perimeter. Justin Stark getting a good one downfield, and looked like might have been a little face mask there. It wasn't called.
So after an incompletion on first down, 2nd down and 10. One of those, what could have been.
We had him open. We just didn't get the pass there on that one.
So it's 3rd down and 10. Go up the middle with Ricky Whittle. He gets 6, so you're short of the first down. Thompson in to attempt the field goal. This one 27-yarder. There was no doubt about this one. It went right through the middle of the pipes. So the drive is 44 yards, 7 plays, and Oregon State's lead is down to a point.
Good hard running there. Broke a few tackles, but we had a lot of people there to wrap him up. Fullback tries to break outside here, but again, nice job at the line of scrimmage. Salila Malapai, playing on a bad knee, played a heck of a football game. Rich Rule in there forcing the play, and Malapai comes along with Reggie Jordan. Gary Williams hobbling on a bad ankle.
So it's a loss of 1, 3rd and 7. Great effort by Jeremy Asher, and then Brian Collins gets the knockdown.
Good job stringing this play out. It's a good job by Ernest Jones at the point of attack. Romeo Bandison walking the thing down the field. You can see Ernest trying to come off from a pretty bad hold there, but we make the play and force him to punt. Fog's rolling in.
Yeah. And another one that just doesn't quite connect. So Oregon punts it away, and the Beavers get it back, leading 7-6 with about 7 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
Good job on the counter play inside.
Cameron Reynolds gets 2. And on 3rd and 3 again, nothing available in the middle. So now you get it back. And a big drive late in the period, unfortunately, starts with an incompletion.
Don't see that very often, and he had some running room. No free safety in the hole. It looked like it might have been gone. Ricky Whittle on the little screen pass, steps out of bounds short of the first down.
A big 3rd and 3 play coming up here. O'Neill trying to find McLemore, and they ruled that Oregon State was there a little early. Penalty against Oregon State for pass interference. Pick up the drive a little bit later, 3rd down and 7.
Corner route to Derek Deadweiler, which we saw earlier in the first half. Drop back this time instead of off the half roll. That's a pure drop back, and Derek beats the double coverage. Corner short, safety deep, splits them both.
So the next play we see is 2nd down and 10 from the Oregon State 29. And O'Neill, just a little out pattern to Deadweiler, and he's got the 1st down, gain of 11. Look at it again.
Good pass protection there, and good job by Derek getting the 1st down inside the 20.
At the 18-yard line, O'Neill again to Deadweiler. Instead of going out, he goes in, and he's down to the 1.5-yard line. See the slant, Deadweiler holding on, and the Ducks now with an opportunity to take the lead. And on 1st and goal, Dwayne Jones, the fullback, gets it, gets into the end zone before losing the ball. The touchdown, the only one of the day for Oregon, and that is our play of the day.
You can see, Todd, we lined up in 2 tight ends here and had the fullback and the tailback in, and we have usually given it to the tailback on a off-tackle play either side, but here we chose to go with the belly play, the quick-hitting play to Dwayne Jones, and he hit it off at right tackle over Justin Stark and Mike DeFonso and slipped in for the touchdown.
So you look at it again from down low.
You can see the good line surge there by Stark and DeFonso, and big hole. He had possession of the ball as he crossed the goal line, hit the turf, and the ball squirted out.
So the touchdown gives Oregon the lead. You're up by 5. You go for 2 points.
Want to try to get up by 7, and unfortunately we run that route here. This almost turned the other way. They could return that for 2 points.
And then they fumble.
We could pick it up and run it in for a 2. So unfortunately we didn't take advantage of their fumble.
So that is the final play that we see in the 3rd quarter. Oregon has the lead. When we come back, we'll have the 4th quarter highlights. We are ready for the 4th and final quarter of the season. Oregon leading Oregon State 12-7 as we enter the final 15. Oregon State has the football, a 2nd down and 8 play. Ooh, J.D. Stewart takes a big hit from Ernest Jones. Look at it again.
See, Salila breaks through, gets the quarterback, and Jones comes down on a stunt from the outside and gets a tackle for no gain.
3rd down and 8. Oregon State used this play successfully 2 years ago. Good recovery by Dante Lewis to come back and get his first interception as a Duck.
It was. Initially, he was beaten. You can see they're slipping the fullback through here. That's a hard one to see. That's a little bit different than the one they threw on us a year ago. But Dante came back. Chad Cota was also there in pretty good shape. We make the interception, and if we can just put something together at this point, we might be able to control the game. But we were out of there. We forced Oregon State into a bad pitch.
In this fourth quarter, your offense only had 9 snaps. That really hurt.
It did.
That was a big third down completion for Oregon State, a gain of 16 to Chris Cross. Second down and 6 here. John Young from Roseburg gets 2. John Young again gets 2, met by his good friend Rich Rule. So it's 4th and 2 after an Oregon State timeout.
Big play by Romeo Bandison. You see him break on a stunt, loops one side, comes right back down the line, and grabs the quarterback and throws him back on a 4th and 2 play for the loss. Big play for us. Now we just need to gear it up on offense and get some movement. And Phil Yaw goes in, gets tackled for a loss. Whittle comes back, tackle for a loss.
So on 3rd and 14.
Blind side, sack. So we go backwards on 3 plays, and now we get an unfortunately high snap. Tommy tries to avoid the rush, get out to a situation where he can run it or punt it. Unable to, and Oregon State takes over on a big emotional change in the game.
Now they change their offensive look and philosophy a little bit. They're going with a power game right now.
Well, they'd done it most of the game early too, and we'd handled it, but in this situation we obviously didn't.
That was a quarterback sneak on 3rd and 1. 5 minutes to play now. It's down to 3:50. J.J. Young finds the end zone. Oregon State leading it 13-12, so look at the numbers, and they decide to go for 2. They run the option, and it's just really Muhammad keeping. So it's 15-12 with 3:50 left to play in this game. So your offense is going to get the football back.
Time when we need to make something happen.
Nothing doing there. Maybe 1. 2nd down and 9. Incomplete. So it's 3rd and 9. And it looked like a little miscommunication here on the route. Danny throwing the ball out to Willie in, or maybe the wide receiver, Corey Murphy. Hard to tell.
Pretty poor performance when the game's on the line. 3 incomplete passes. We punt the ball away, and now, unfortunately, we're unable to stop Oregon State using our timeouts and get the thing back. And they eat up the clock.
That put Oregon State over the top as they get one final play. A quarterback kneel down with the ball, and Oregon State comes out with the victory, 15-12. Let's take a look at some of the numbers from the game. See first downs. The defense is doing a good job. Rushing Oregon State, 217, Oregon 5. Almost reverse in the passing department. Oregon State with 1 pass completion. Danny O'Neill will see his numbers momentarily. Total offense, Oregon averaging over 400 coming in, getting about half of that. Oregon State averaging over 300, getting about 65 to 70% of their seasonal average. Turnovers, we've talked about that earlier in the program. Penalties, Oregon State, that's very unusual for them. 10 penalties for over 100 yards. Punting, Tommy had a good day when he was able to get the ball off. They didn't have hardly any return yards as he hung it up there high. 3rd down conversions, you can see both teams struggled a little bit in that department as well. Individually, Danny O'Neill, tough afternoon. One of the few games that he has not thrown for a touchdown pass, so he ends up tied with Bill Musgrave for 22 touchdown passes in one season. But he does get the seasonal mark for yardage and completion percentage. Deadweiler closes out his career over 50 receptions. In fact, McLemore got one in this game, so the Ducks finished for the first time ever with 2 receivers over 50 receptions in a year. Corey Murphy with 3 for 35. And defensively, Romeo Bandison had a terrific game. 15 tackles, one of those for a loss. Ernest Jones had a tackle for a loss, and Rich Rule coming in there with double digits as well. Obviously, the team was very disappointed after the loss, and we talked to some of the players after.
You know, the play of the game is probably that high snap by myself. You know, I'll take responsibility for it. Snapped it high on a double man free. They were bringing the house, and it has to be a perfect snap to be able to get off because there's two guys that are actually free being not blocked. Hopefully the corners will be wide enough and the snap will be fast enough to get the punt off. And I snapped it high, and you know they got great field position. It seemed to give them a little spark, and they brought it in on that drive. And I mean, I know you can't point at one play in a football game, but I mean, I'm intelligent enough to see that kind of turned it around, and I feel bad that a mental mistake on my part and a physical mistake on my part kind of led to the victory.
We just made the little mistakes that have been killing us all year, and that's what happened. And that's the only thing I look back at. I mean, the fact that I dropped a couple of passes, and I'm gonna remember those. You know, everybody keeps telling me, "Don't worry." You know, I didn't even know I caught the other passes, but I remember those, especially because we lost. And that's why I remember them the most, because they might have made a difference.
Every year it's the same thing. Both teams come hard, you know, and ready to play, and everybody wants to win. And, you know, they just got a couple of breaks and made a couple of plays, which got them over the edge, and they beat us.
Believe it or not, the first field goal I kick, in my mind, was questionable, which means that I wouldn't argued with the referee if he would have called it no good. The second field goal was unbelievable. That ball was, you know, it wasn't down the middle, but it was through the uprights, you know, and I think he knew it. I went up to him and I told him, "Hey, buddy, you know, you owe me one." So, you know, I think that was a very unfortunate call for us.
You know, I just personally feel bad for the seniors, and you know, I think it's really not this game, and this is just kind of the last deal. You know, we lost Oregon State, but the season's just been a disaster, really. So the game hurts really bad, but it's kind of like after this game, you kind of think of the whole season. It's just a big downer.
Number one priority going into next year?
Seek out a little help on the junior college ranks at a few positions and recruit very, very hard in the high school area. We'll overall nationally go from 88 to 85 scholarships next year. You're going to see more teams playing